Hello and welcome to Soul Symbols. My name is Shelley. I'm a writer, an astrologer, and a card reader, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. Today is day 24. I almost got lost there for a minute. Today is day 24 of the 31 Days of Tarot, and what that is it is a video blog sprint hosted here by another YouTuber named Ethony. And what we do is every day every day throughout the month of January, tarot and card readers answer one question related to what we do. And today's question is, list your top 5 tarot books of 2010 to 2019. And to be honest, it's funny, you've seen all these posts about the number of decks that I have, but to be honest, these are all of my tarot books. And it really is more than just the last decade. This is really, I have books here that I've had for a very, very long time. But these are my favorite books. So we are going to go through, and this is what I use. So there's really nothing outside of this. So we'll go ahead and get right into it. The first book, and this is a biggie, this is my golden number 1, is Learning the Tarot by Joan Bunning. Now, a few of these books may or may not be in print anymore. This is copyright 1998, so like I said. And what I absolutely love about this book is that it gives me, the way that it's outlined, you see that it has the name, it has keywords, it has themes that are in very, very clear and easy to access. She has opposing cards, reinforcing cards, and then on the other side of the page she has descriptions. So it's like anytime this book is the most versatile book that I've ever used whenever I am just throwing cards. Like Seven of Wands. Going after what you want, asserting yourself, taking the offensive. And here you go, High Priestess, being passive, holding back. That's an opposite card. And I love this where she gives like several paragraphs that just describe it so well. So it's almost as if the left side of the page is really when you want a quick answer because you're in the middle of the read, and the right side of the page is if you're really doing in-depth, feeling it kind of introspection. And what's so beautiful about this is that her insights are absolutely spot on. And I always say that this is just like the printed version of a tarot journal. I really do think this is probably, I'm imagining that she probably has years and years of, I honestly need to reread the bio for Joan Bunning, but she probably has years and years of tarot experience, and this is probably, again, the print version of her tarot journal. And I find it absolutely amazing. You can see I have pages falling out. This poor book. I need to be gentle with it, but it is my number 1 top book ever. And I will go ahead and list all of the names of these books in the description box below, but that is my number 1. Now, my number 2, and this is, if you're thinking the Olympics, this is the silver medal, right? Is Tarot Plain and Simple by Anthony Lewis. And similar to the other book, this one is really laid out the same way. Now, it has a few pages where it's not all just 2 pages. It does have a few that starts on one page and continues to the next. But what I absolutely love about this book is that it does the same thing. It gives a lot of keywords. Keywords and phrases, like here for the Hangman, reversal, slowed action, limbo, selflessness, sacrifice, commitment. So again, just like a tarot journal, it really gives, kind of somebody's impression but what I love about this is that it has a secondary area that says situation and advice, and then it has people. So, I absolutely love the fact that it's like, okay, what if I'm asking the cards about a situation that involves a person? Or what if the cards are answering a question that might involve someone? It might be describing someone. And here, Hanged Man, for a person who's embodying the energy of the hangman, those who selflessly dedicate themselves to a goal, someone who withdraws from life to meditate, someone who dares to be different, a hospital patient, a spiritual person, a saint. And so the fact that, they give keywords, but then they also give situation and advice, and then they describe the card as people. And then he goes on and he does the same card, but the reversed. And I just think that is so great. It's one of the very few books, there's probably quite a few books that actually go into the reversal, but not in this much depth. You know what I mean? So here, I love, if I kind of need to step outside the box, like I know how to read cards, but it never fails. If I'm kind of stumped. I'm in the middle of a read and I'm like, okay, this card is coming up in the reverse. What does that mean? And then, the other thing that I absolutely love about this layout is that when he will also go in and when he's describing the reversals of the card, he does also kind of give the two interpretations of a reversal. And the two interpretations is that sometimes a reversal can mean that you're coming out of the energy, that the energy is dissipating or leaving. And sometimes it means that the energy, oh gosh. Okay, that hasn't happened in a while, but I'd like to introduce you to, for all of my watchers from the 31 Days of Tarot. And actually, if you're a new subscriber, I'm so grateful. From this vlog sprint, a lot of new followers have come on to my channel, and I'm so grateful for every one of you. But what you just heard is Dude with no muffler. And a dude with no muffler is a dude who has, at first, he likes to audio bomb my reads. And at first I thought, because to have a card that loud, it's one of two things. It's either a car that literally has no muffler, or, because it's a hoopty, or it's a specifically souped up car where it's intentionally meant to be that obnoxiously loud. And I later found out that it's a Camaro, and he has a muffler that's not street legal, and I'm in a house with insulation, and he audio bombs me all the time. One time I got him coming and I got him going, and I was just so mad. And actually, there is I do what I call my Dungeons and Dragons reading. I do a D20 reading, and he audio bombed that one twice, and I literally got so mad that I threw a D8, and I actually looked to see if I could throw a spear at him. So. All right, guys. Sorry for the tirade, but back to the plan. Where was I? I don't even remember. Oh yes, we were talking about how a card can be interpreted when a card is reversed. It can be interpreted as either the energy dissipating or actually leaving, or it can be the energy in a really negative concentrated form, meaning that it's not leaving, it's being persistent in a bad way. And I really love the way that he really he goes into both of those descriptions. He gives examples of both. And I know there's quite a few tarot readers that don't read reversals, but as I started reading cards, I did get a little bit more proficient at it. And then as I got more comfortable with reading reversals, they started to really speak to me the way that all upright cards do. But it's always a personal choice. I know some readers who just, if a card flies out, they read it in the upright. But to have that kind of perception of it is excellent, and that is my number 2 most favorite, turn to book. Now, the third book is by an author that I speak about quite often. Actually, it's The Ultimate Guide to Divination by Liz Dean, and actually she comes in twice in this video, so you can tell she's a favorite. And I have 2 Liz Dean decks as well. I have the Fairy Tale Fortune cards, and I have the Art of Tarot. And this book is actually multifunctional. I had actually really bought it because I wanted to, it talks about a lot of different things. It talks about crystals. Ooh, it actually has some feng shui in there. I was, in my daily ritual reading, I talked about feng shui. But I thought it was great because she goes in and she has, it has different sections, and you can see it's right on the edge of the paper. And it talks about the chakras and other things, but basically she pretty much goes through and she talks about just about, she kind of touches on everything from runes to, to pendulums. But what I thought was great is that she does, first off, I am going to be utilizing this book. I'm trying to learn a lot more about Lenormand. So she does have an entire section about reading playing cards, and as you've seen, if you've seen my other videos, I have other videos where I read playing cards. So I do want to learn more about that. And then and I love it because she does have illustrations, so it's very easy to follow. But she does have a complete tarot section. And she has spreads, but what I really love about the tarot section is that she has, color illustration of all of the majors and the minors, but she does have a lot of really great keywords. And she does do a brief reversal, and I like her interpretation of the cards. And I find that sometimes I tend to turn to this book a lot for the minors more than the majors, and I'm not quite sure why. I do think, I just think it's just a very quick and easy, and I do like the fact that for all of the majors, all the minors, she has all of it on 2 pages. So you can just open and see, open and see swords, open and see wands, and so forth. But it's a really great versatile book if you kind of want, a little bit of everything. We even have palmistry in there. And, it's really quite neat. She does also have a section where you can read tea leaves. And I think that's great because honestly, you can really interpret any of these symbols with other cards like Lenormand or just symbols that you see on your oracle. So book number 4, moving right along, we have The Tarot of Jane Austen, and this is by Diane Wilkes. I had the great pleasure of meeting this author while I was at a tarot retreat back in October. And you'll actually hear more about my tarot retreat when we get to the day 27, which is Where is the Strangest Place That You've Read Tarot. But I had a great time, and what it is that I actually procured this deck. This deck was actually, the deck and the book were published in 2006, so neither are in print anymore. And both the deck and the book are kind of doing that ridiculous thing where the moment it's out of print, those who have a copy of the book, they'll see that it's not in print anymore, and then they try to rack up the price. You'll see it on eBay for $100 or something really crazy. And it's one of those things where, I understand that, a lot of times tarot cards are kind of rare and there's a value assigned to that, but I really respect those persons who put an honest value on something and aren't just trying to make a quick buck. Like if I'm selling a deck, like I have several vintage decks that I wouldn't mind parting with, but there's almost a solace that I get in my heart when I know that it goes to another reader. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sell it for $100. I might sell it, for kind of close to its value, but I don't want to sell it for a deal and just have someone turn around and try to make a profit off of it. I really like to know that if I am selling it for a little bit less, that it's going to someone else who will appreciate it. So that is something that, and I actually got this book it was not expensive. It was $25 and it benefited charity. And I just thought that was a blessing. Again, just like I think it was kind of the energy. When you look at the figure 8, I believe it is putting energy into the cycle and it coming back out to you. If you pay it forward, it comes back to you. But I'm sorry, I'm going off on tangents today. Sorry, guys. But I absolutely love my Jane Austen cards. As you've seen, they're in my top favorite deck every time. And what was great is that while I am a complete Jane Austen nut, there were a few decks, there were a few stories that I wasn't quite sure who the person was. And I actually, talk about a fangirl moment, I did not know who the devil was. What it is the devil is this very manipulative looking woman. And, all of Jane Austen's heroines are real sweethearts. So I was like, who in the world is this woman, right? And it turns out that it's Lady Susan. And I actually discovered that by asking the author, and tell me. Yeah, I know, right? How cool is that? But I did later actually get a chance to read the book about the storyline, and because Lady Susan is one of the lesser known books, it's not like Pride and Prejudice where you know every word by heart or every plot. But the book is incredibly well written. I catch myself gleaning, even though I love Jane Austen, I've read all the stories and I know it inside and out, I still get new insights by reading this, and it's just a testament to how good the author is. But if you do happen to find it, and again, from what I understand, there are quite a few I think there's a few communities that will let you trade and purchase cards without having to go through the mainstream, and I am so grateful for that. I'd love to find one of those, so because again, you shouldn't have to pay $100 if you truly love the book just because it's out of print. You don't want to get scalped, right? Don't let anybody take advantage of the fact that it's out of print. Now, the last but not least is yet another book by Liz Dean, and it is The Understanding Tarot. And actually, this came up in the video of books that I've read in 2019, and so I did a good description of it there. But what it is that I actually saw this book in the bookstore, so I do know that it's still available. But I just like the Ultimate Guide to Divination, I just think she goes into the history of the cards. There's a lot of the mythology that you just, she knows what angel is in the lovers, the name of the angel. She gives descriptions, and she gives example of her own cards. And this is the deck that I have, but she also compares it to other mainstream cards as well. And she really I just really love the way that it's laid out. All of the descriptions are very easy. It's an easy and concise read, and it's very, very informative. And so, and again, just having the mythology, the history, the religion of it, it helps deepen my understanding of the cards, even though, I see them every day, I read them every day, and it helps me so much. So guys, that was my top 5 tarot books of all time, of the decade, of everything. Woo! And so I hope you enjoyed. Definitely, if you see any of the books that you like, there are a lot of online retailers that deal in out-of-print books, Alibri, any of those locations, just, search for it. Sometimes I get a gut instinct to just check eBay sometimes, and you never know. If you just kind of keyword and search every once in a while, you will eventually get lucky and find the book that you've been looking for. But I thank you so much for joining me today, and for all the persons who have liked, commented, and subscribed, thank you. I am so grateful for you. I do read all of the comments. I get a little busy during the week, but I promise you I always read it, and when I slow down a little bit, I will get back to replies. And I hope you can join me tomorrow. The question for day 25 is, if you could meet any tarot book or deck author, who would it be and why? So if you want to tune in, find out who I'm fangirling over, please check it out tomorrow, and I'll see you then. Bye.